We'll continue reading the book, The Spiritual Anatomy by Daaji. Today's topic is the story of the soul. We'll understand in this chapter the nothingness, the origin, creation, how soul is created, and the process. Okay. So, author says, Daaji says, our spiritual journey is for finding the inner peace, the harmony, be in a balanced mode. So now I will take you to the imagination. I'll ask you to close your eyes. Okay. So he says, I would request everyone to close your eyes. Imagine that you are standing in an open field under a sky and a lush green land. The trees are there dotting and the river is flowing. Now imagine you crop the trees, you crop the river flowing, then what is left? Only land and sky. Now you crop the entire land and the planet disappears. What happens? You are floating in the cosmos amid the galaxies, stars, isn't it? Now make the cosmos also disappear. Close your eyes and imagine. All the stars, galaxies, and other celestial bodies are gone. So, what is that then? Nothing remains, right? There is no light or matter around you. This infinite nothingness of space, enveloped in a darkness, in a pristine silence. This was the original state before creation. Okay, nothingness. That is the original state, which is the perfect balance and total integration, which is exemplified in yoga as yoga in samadhi. Okay, from the original state, then creation burst forth. So, what is our aim in the spiritual journey, or as the book says, your spiritual anatomy project is to recreate the original state within ourselves. When you recreate that original state, there is no emotion or entropy of emotions. You are a settled state of pure being where you are one with the universal existence. Okay, we have to become one with the original state by merging with it. And we know in science also, for merging anything, you need to be of the same frequency, same vibration, same entity. Okay. Oil, when you put a drop of oil on the water, will it mix? No, it will not mix, it will float. So similarly, we have to be in that vibration so that we have to become infinity to merge with the infinity too. Okay. So to merge with the infinite source, you need to become infinity. The final merger is the coming together of two infinities. Now we'll see the center. What is the center? So the Daaji belongs to Heartfulness Center. So their teachers, through their meditation, they have observed that in the original state, there is a center which is existing. And the center is the most subtler form, it's like a single egg, which contains the entire human being in the subtle form. And the seed contains the tree in a subtle form. And the center contains within itself the seed for the entire creation. The seed was in the form of absolute vibration. We have done this exercise just now, like imagining ourselves that we crop each and everything of our existence, like under the sky, under the land, then whatever is there on the land, we crop it, then land is cropped, then you are in the space, then you crop all the galaxies, and then you are in a complete darkness and complete original state with pristine silence. So So within the center, there's a seed. So complete nothingness, not in the space. That's the absolute. The seed was in the form of absolute vibration. We say in during Navratri or the Kushmanda, one of the Devis, so this is a seed form where the seed, we represent her as a seed, right? Kushmanda, one egg, one single egg, all creation started. In the science, we know neutron, protons, then subtler, further subatomic particles are quarks, hadrons, leptons. When these atomic particles they join, they form atom. From the atom, then molecule. From the molecule, then compound and matters. Right. So in science, Einstein has formed an equation: E is equal to mc square. So energy converts into matter. Okay. Now matter converting into energy, we all know, like burning of wood, we get energy. Then our own eating food and through digestion, we get energy, right? So now in our spiritual anatomy project, we have to experience how this energy, now we are in a physical form, in a matter, so how this energy transform to its absolute truth. So this, can you see the infinity? Okay. Can you see this screen? Can anyone unmute
Yes,
and
yes, we can.
okay, thank you, thank you. So this Daji author has represented is like infinity. So first is on the left side, it is observed by the mystics. That is from the absolute, right? We are in the nothingness from the absolute. From the seed, then creation happens. So from the absolute, there is an energy, and for the spiritual anatomy project of each one for us, the energy to absolute, that's our journey from energy to absolute. Okay. And then on the right side, it is proven in science. From the energy is in the center. It converts into mass, that is observed by scientists, E is equal to mc square. And then from the mass, it converts into energy back. Okay, this is proven in science on the right side, and on the left side, it is observed by the mystics. And the hypothesis for us is from energy to absolute. That is our journey from the physical matter to coming to the absolute state, the samadhi state, which we have mentioned time back. Okay. So the arrow goes the story of creation from left to right, and our spiritual anatomy project goes from right to left. Okay. Now, how in Daji explains the first mind, how the first mind was created. You know, in the original state, the center was present. Okay. So beneath the center, there is a latent motion. Now how will I explain the volcano eruption? Like if we imagine how volcanic eruption under the earth, there is a complete motion, and when it gets the trigger, it comes out as a volcanic eruption. Okay. Similarly, uh, the first mind, there is a latent motion beneath that center. Okay, when that potential, as soon as it gets the trigger, it comes out. You know, it contains all the potential in itself. It was the idea of creation. Okay. In heartfulness, they say the idea of creation is referred to as sthir or shobh. For creation to begin, a pulse, a trigger was needed. A switch is to be turned on to complete the circuit, and that switch is called as sthir. So at the time of creation, the stir triggered latent motion, and the Revolution created crevices in the center, and from the crevices, absolute vibration burst forth and started flowing outward into the vast nothingness of the space. Okay, this is how the first wave of creation was um, created. When the nothingness was infused with absolute vibration, it resulted in a celestial bonanza of creation. And in heartfulness, they call it as a first mind. Okay. The soul originated at the moment of creation. Now, when a mother, um, as a baby in her womb, so mother and baby both are together, right? They are one entity. But as soon as the baby is born, there is a separation, right? They are two entities. So the soul also, when this latent emotion and then infused from the crevices, the energy, the vibration came out. Even soul came out like that. Okay, but soul feels now separated from the original truth, the original state. Like the baby is born and baby cries, right? Generally, 90% baby cries because the first thing is it got separated from the mother, from the womb, and feels the first thing I am feeling fear. So fear is the first impression that is deposited on the soul. Okay, it's a little understanding thing. We have to imagine the creation, how the soul is created by taking the analogy of how mother gives a birth to the baby. So as a one entity, baby and mother in a womb, and once the baby is separate, born, then there is a two identity creation. So when there is a creation, there is a separation. Okay. So the soul now feels separated from the original state, the state of stillness, state of absolute. So that separation is what layered one after the another. The I, and then there is a fear. First, the fear of separation. That's the impression deposited on the soul. Okay. The soul, being a part of the center, inherited the same stirring force that triggered creation. In human beings, this force was inherited in full potency and it manifested in the form of a mind. Okay. So the microorganism, plants, animals, they all have a level of intelligence similar to a human mind. But there is a difference that because the human mind can willfully evolve, human mind can willfully go back and find out the good and merge into the original state, which microorganism, minerals, and plants they cannot do it. Okay. Now the soul equipped with the mind. We are now talking about the creation of the soul. Okay. First from the crevice, the separation, the vibration came out, and then that's the creation. The soul equipped with the mind existed as a separate entity. And over time, the idea of estrangement from the center strengthened in the soul. Okay, again, I will take the example of a baby born. Okay, when baby is small, infant stage, in that uh, stage, it is completely in the protection of mother, parents, I mean, both father and mother. And as the baby is growing, it mimics parents, right? Like how mother has a choice or father has a choice similarly. But as it becomes teenage or adult, they have their own independence, right? Similarly, the soul mimic the center. Okay, center, we know the truth, the absoluteness. The soul mimic the center and got busy with its own creation with the help of the mind. Okay. The soul's activity fostered the maturing of the subtle body. Last Saturday, we learned about the subtle body that consisted of consciousness, ego, intellect, and thinking. These things envelop the soul. Okay, I'll go back again. Like the analogy, like the child is always mimicking parents, but as it grows, it becomes independent. Similarly, the soul mimicked the center at the initial stage and then got busy with its own creation with the help of the mind. And as it evolved or as it matured, it consisted of consciousness, ego, intellect, and thinking. So these all envelop the soul. So the working of the mind began to contribute further layers around the soul. That is why in spiritualism we say, as we meditate, we peel off each and every layer as we peel off the onions. So this is what from the imagine billions of years before when human was created through that explosion, that the latent motion creation, and how many layers you can imagine. We take different births, how many layers would have been created. So we need to work on the inner journey so that we peel off each and every layer with mind the mind has created and the subtle bodies. With each added layer, the feeling of estrangement between the soul and the center kept growing. Now the human being exists in the physical form consisting of the physical body, the subtle body, and the soul. So the pure awareness of the soul filters through the layers of the physical and subtle bodies. There was a time when you had an unobstructed view of mountains, but now you see the mountains from behind the clouds and smoke, wearing 3 or 4 pairs of sunglasses. As layers got added, pure awareness became blocked, and what was once just a feeling of estrangement from the center became reality. We say during COVID, the new norm, washing hands and putting masks. Similarly, the layers got so much deposited that the pure awareness we have completely, the new reality is this, the physical matter, isn't it? We'll see further uh, the soul's journey in the next. If anyone wants to add anything or share anything, please feel free to unmute yourself. If anyone has anything to ask or input or add into this concept, please unmute yourself. Thank you, Swarnaji. Sage, shall we end the session? If there are no more sharing, thank you, JP. We shall meet in the evening for the next session with different master. Thank you. Thank you all. Exactly, Swarnaji. The analogy, yes, higher self and the lower self. Absolutely, yeah. Thank you. That explains the imagination with our original state. Mm. Have a miraculous day. Thank you all for joining and adding your energies. Thank you so much.